Yo, what's going on? Jam in the mix. I'm here to talk about a little thing called the Congo. Now you may say, Jam, why do you care about the Congo? You're an American. You're a natural born citizen. Like, what do you care about that? Well, I'm also African American. I have this lovely black skin and melanin inside me. I can feel the rhythm of the drum beat as my heart beats. And so I was curious, like, why is the Congo even in turmoil right now? It's 2025, and I'm like, yo, why is there such a big struggle and a big conflict right there? And so I decided to do some research. Also, because we've been learning about the Gazan and the Palestinian genocide so deeply for the past 2 years, I'm like, man, well, there's this other conflicts that are happening in the African continent. Why are they connected, and what's happening? What is the imperialism that's affecting it all? So basically, I come to find out, whoa, hey, dude, there's a lot of rubber, and there's a lot of gold, there's a lot of ivory, there's a lot of just natural resources and harvested resources that come from that area and that were exploited a lot. So, in this video, we're just going to be talking about my journey of discovering about what in the heck is going on with Congo. Come on, let's go. So, this journey started when I was researching and I came across some African masks, and they were from, you guessed it, the Democratic Republic of Congo, as it's currently called, right? And so they were gorgeous masks, and I'm like, man, the beadwork on these is so amazing. And we've also had so much talk right now about like treasures and theft from like French and European museums, and how those artifacts should be returned to their original owners, right? And there's a lot to think about with that, but the point is, like, okay, well, where did these masks go? Who has them? And what is the deal with that? So it led me to think about, oh, well, the Congo is a thing, so let's look into that. And not only that, but I've always felt connected to African drums, and I've always felt connected to like Black history as well as African spiritual history, and it's something that a lot of my work and artwork in life has been about, kind of exploring that and educating other folks about it. So when I saw this image, I was reminded of another image that I had done, and that I did a YouTube video about, and it looked, kind of the same. I had studied some masks, but it just reminded me that, hey, I've kind of been tapped into this mask and like African spirituality, African relic, and historical stuff for a while now. So it felt like the right place to go, and so I continued, and so I started to learn. I learned that the Belgian king, his name was King Leopold II. His dad was King Leopold I. He was also Queen Victoria's first cousin. We'll get to that later. So the overall thing here is, within 15 years, he took out over half of Congo's population, while he robbed their resources. And there's an estimated between 5 to 10 million dead. But there wasn't there didn't have like a solid census then to be able to know. But that's still a lot of people. And also, the ivory trade caused plenty of animals to be poached and hunted in that area as well. So it was kind of an ecological disaster. So I started to think about, oh, okay, well, there's a lot of ivory in this place, and that deals with elephants. And so led me to think about circuses, and I thought about, oh, well, maybe the elephants were getting trafficked across seas, and they were. The babies were taken from their moms and then put in ridiculously horrible situations. And of course, elephants were hunted as trophies in Africa, right? People wanted their tusks, and people wanted their horns. People wanted rhino horns. People wanted mammoth horns. People wanted those horns to guess what, make weird random stuff that didn't need to be made, especially in the European countries when it came to making piano keys, making billiard balls, and things of the like, right? Things that said, hey, I got luxury and I got money. Check out my ivory. And I think one of the worst parts about this is just how the colonizer mind works, right? So check this out. This is from the World Animal site. So no animal suffers more visibility in the circus than the elephant. Stolen from their mothers as babies, elephants are subjected to the crush, a process where their spirits are broken using pain, fear, and restraint until they submit to human control. And so that passage just reminds me of how it was just like chattel slavery. When you pull out these African people or indigenous people from wherever they are, and then you immediately break their soul and break their spirit through violence, through captivity, through isolation, and most importantly, you disconnect them with that which made them feel at home and feel safe. So yeah, circuses are not the best human practice, and they have faced a lot of criticism since their inception, but mainly the later part of the 20th century, people started to not feel that it's what's up, and there are some companies who still use animals in their circuses. Whew, that's a lot. Let's keep it rolling. Yeah, also they use bull hooks on elephants. It's like a thing that they hook to your ear with, and it's a steel rod, and they prod you and they poke you with it. Not fun. To finish the thought on ivory, let me read you this piece from Wikipedia. Elephant ivory has been exported from Africa and Asia for millennia, with records going back to the 14th century BCE. Transport of the heavy commodity was always difficult, and with the establishment of the early modern slave trades from East and West Africa, freshly captured slaves were used to carry the heavy tusks to the ports where both the tusks and their carriers were sold. The ivory was used for piano keys, billiard balls, and other expressions of exotic wealth. At the peak of the ivory trade, pre-20th century, during the colonization of Africa, around 800 to 1,000 tons of ivory were sent to Europe alone every year. So you now ask yourself, well, damn, why is that even important? What does it matter about elephants? Well, again, like I said, ivory was part of the trade. And so when we start to see what some of these the effects of some of this colonization and some of this invasion that we're going to look at here shortly, that's what's causing it, right? So it's like coming back to my original question, like what is even up with Congo? Like, why is it seen as so valuable? So let's keep on learning. All right, so another aspect of King Leopold, before we even get into like all the like crazy stuff that he did, I want to make a point that he was awarded the Order of the Garter. So the Noble Order of the Garter is the highest and most senior order of knighthood in the British honor system, and it is outranked only by the decorations of the Victoria Cross and the George Cross. So basically, it's like you're not a prince, but you have all the access of princely stuff, right, and all the honor of that, prince or princess, queen, whatever. You're basically a step under kingship and princeship. You're not an heir at all, but you have the privileges of heirs, right? So you get invited to parties, you get coronations, you get auto invites to whatever fun weddings and stuff that the castle throws. You get to be part of that as a noble order of knighthood. Now, you may say, Jan, well, why? What is that important? Now, I want to tell you that King Leopold was honored with this Order of the Garter right when he became king in 1866. And now you may say, well, Jam, why does that even matter? What's up with 1866? Well, in 1866, you also may know that was 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation here in the United States, and that was right after he got elected as or brought into kinghood. Some 20 years later, he would go into Congo, but staying on the topic of his knight order, he was ordained by Britain. not by the Vatican. His first cousin, Queen Victoria, who's also known as the grandmother of Europe, because she has like 42 grandkids who are pretty much all, all, all like basically rulers of various European countries, right? And Prince Andrew's her great grandson, 5 times removed. Anyways, we'll get back to that. So, Queen Victoria, who was also heavily entrenched in tea, and diamonds and oh man, just and rubies and jewels and pretty much all the trade that was going on with the Indians and the extractive processes of that. Britain was like, yo, we're locked in, dude. And so you are a part of the team. You know what I mean? Come to the barbecue and we'll hang out. It'll be an awesome time. So that's why we see pictures of King Leopold II with that kind of loose and airy jewelry that he has, the big chain thing there. So, yes. Order of the Garter. It's basically, it's not even a Purple Heart. It's basically, it's like a black card for the royal house, right? It's like you're in there, and they approve of what you do. And if it's genocide, hey, look, man, we're gonna need those jewels, and we're gonna need that rubber, and we're gonna need that ivory. Eventually, we might as well pull it out their hands now, and we'll give you an award for it. Here, just wear this chain. It's symbolic, but it symbolizes we support you. don't let the real. Now, to close out this thought, like I said, Prince Andrew, who is the 2025, he's the prince right now. He is considering to be kicked out of said order, the Noble Order of the Garter. You know what that means? I don't think they do that much, right? But he's in consideration for being banned, and this is early October 2025. So we'll see how far that goes. Let's keep on trucking. Oh, but you said, wait, Jim, don't leave there. Why would he be banned? Well, there's a guy named Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and he had a few parties on a few islands with a few people he should not have been having those parties with for maybe a decade or so. And so Prince Andrew got caught all up in that, and now he is stepping down, removing himself completely from the palace and royalty. Whoa. And while we're on the topic of awards, I want to talk about the Order of Leopold II. And so this was a decoration. It's basically like, one of those brooch things, but it was for the meritorious service to the sovereign of Belgium, and as a token of his personal goodwill, it was awarded. Wait, what? Okay, so basically it was an award for servicemen who had served in the free Congo state, right? So once King Leopold came into power here and set that up, that's when he started giving out these awards to veterans and other folks who had came from their tours and campaign. So yeah, also you can also find the Order of the Garter that King Leopold had. Now it's currently in private possession, but you can probably talk him out of it if you pay upwards of like 6,000 pounds, British pounds. That's what it's sold for 4,000 last. So if you want it, it's out there. Now let's get to it. What in the world was going on in Congo, and why did King Leopold even want to be in the Congo or even get there? And that's a great question, because I think, Africa was so unexplored by Europeans at that point, and they had tapped into some of it, but a lot of them had died from sickness. Just some folks came back crazy. Some people just stayed there, right? And I should do more research on that. But the point is that Africa was not touched like that. There have been several missions in several parts of northern Africa that were more colonized and more accustomed to European contact, but for the most part, it was not. And so Europeans wanted to change that, and they were adamant about it. Now, one of the most adamant people about that was King Leopold II. And he was like, look, man, we just need to go ahead and take out whatever these Africans are doing, because as kings, what more do we have than to get money? So there was never he didn't really care about colonizing for the purpose of like building a better nation or nothing. Oddly enough, King Leopold's politics were that he was pro-union, he was like pro-voting, he like had all these kind of progressive thoughts, but he was also a rich asshole, so he was very much not aside from killing millions of people just to get the resources, for more jewels, for more rubber, for more ivory, for more of that good stuff that we can enjoy here on this moral plane. But I digress. He wanted it all, and he told the other European countries that he wanted that too. Okay, so here's a quick little timeline. So in 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation is signed by what's his face? Abraham Lincoln. Then, after that, in 1866, King Leopold takes his crown, and guess what? He gets that Order of the Garter. Thanks, Queen Victoria. Shout out to you. He stamped it. It's like having Drake on your track. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you do after that. You had Drake on your song. It does help that they were face cousins. Anyways, digress. So, 1866, he's sworn in as king. 1884, the Berlin Conference is come together between December of 1883 and about January, February of 1884. That was when several German countries and nation leaders came together at a table and said, hey, yeah, look, let's just go into Africa, let's split it up. I'm gonna get this part, you're gonna get that part, we're gonna eat tonight, boys. And some of the people were like, yeah, okay, well, we can just kind of piecemeal this through. And then King Leopold was like, well, yeah, actually, no, let's just run up in this shit, because we don't have time for this. We're too rich to wait. Come on, let's do it. So, under the guise of what's it called? So basically, he Trojan horsed his way into Africa. The powers that were at the Berlin Conference with him were like, look, man, we need to take this step by step. We can do it slow. He said, nah, fuck that. I'm trying to get up in it. And so he did. He went behind their backs and basically did it like a Trojan horse, where he took his people, sent them down like the Nile, I believe, and then ended up just kind of insurging into the Congolese area, because there is a river there. Yep, the Congo River. And so, which is the second longest river in the world, also the deepest river in the world. Fun facts. So, bro, basically he snuck his way into Congo, ended up working with mappers, working with different zoning people to like draw the border for the country, and the rest is kind of history, because after that it was 15 years of absolute terror on the Congolese people, and we're sticking in Congo right now. Not the rest of Africa was getting fucked by Europeans too, but